Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. Sorry if I'm sounding a little congested. I've been kind of battling a head cold and chest congestion and stuff, but this is the first day that I've been feeling pretty good for a couple now. So, with that said, I hope you don't hold it against me. And in this video, though, I wanna talk about, and I want you to learn about, kind of the beginning of some guidelines to finding inner peace after cancer. Now I got a note list of just a bunch of topics that I came up with that I'll hit on each one, and I have about 11 of them. And I want to kind of go through these because I think these are all really important into getting to that point after cancer where you feel like you can breathe a little bit and that you feel pretty content with where your life is at. So I think these are, this isn't the definitive list of how you do this, right? These are 11 topics that I've thought about and I think make a lot of sense to kind of help you get started, and to kind of understand the bigger picture of what it takes to really find that inner peace and that peace after cancer that I know that I was really looking for, and for a lot of people that I have talked to and had discussions with, they also kind of feel the same way. So so how to find inner peace after cancer, right? The first one is communication. Now, this goes to every aspect of your life, all the different relationships, all the different people that you come in contact with. Communication is a really big one, because if you are not able to communicate, how are they supposed to know how to help you, and how are they supposed to know what it is that you might be going through, if you're a current patient or if you are also a survivor. We go through a lot of different feelings and a lot of different emotions after going through cancer. That one of the biggest things for me was being better at communicating with not only all my relationships, like my wife and my employer and my friends, but just people in general that I come in contact with, and I really enjoy telling my story because it really has helped me a lot to, one, just spread awareness, and two, I don't feel like I'm holding it in, and I don't feel like I'm bottling it up either. So I think being able to communicate those intentions are really, really important to helping kind of down that path of finding that inner peace, and that peace that we are all kind of looking for. Number two is, I try to focus on all the positives going on, not the negatives. And that, it's really easy to say this, right? But I've taken a lot of steps, and I've worked on a lot of parts of my life to where I'm not feeling certain anxieties due to our outside influences that go on, whether that is what we see and read in the news, or what we see on social media. I've kind of, I focus now on just all the positives, and don't get me wrong, it's not easy. I have my moments, and they probably are more moments than I really care to admit, but nonetheless, I'm aware of them, and I understand when they start creeping in, and I start working on those things, right? And while focusing on all the positives, it keeps me in a better mindset. It keeps me in a better, I just feel better, I feel good about it, and then when I start kind of feeling some of the the negatives that are going on in life, I start to feel down, and I start to kind of feel that, I don't want to say it's depression, but just that discouragement that happens. And I found that if I concentrate on the positive sides of things, then I feel better at it. I have a better outlook of everything that goes on, and it reflects on all the people that are surrounding me and are around me also. And that also kind of contributes back to your relationships and your communication too. The next one I do not as much as I'd like, but I do try to get in and do it a little bit, and that's meditation. And there's so much noise, just general noise that goes on all over the place in every aspect of our lives, whether that is dealing with traffic or while you're driving to work, or whether it's the noise at work, or whether it's all the above. People complaining, news on TV, all the depressing political situation that the world is in right now, and not just the U.S., but there's all this noise that goes on all around us, right? And this noise can really be very harmful if we don't kind of deal with it. And so I get, as I said, not as often as I would like, but I get to a point to where, or I get into a place to where it's really, I have no TVs on. I have very, very deep quiet going on, and I can just listen to my heartbeat. I can let my mind just kind of wander and flow, and I can just concentrate on my breathing and just not hearing anything. And I'll do it for anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes. And when I kind of come out of this, like, just quietness, I just feel relieved. I feel really good about kind of everything that's kind of happened. I can, through the day or through the week, depending on when I was able to kind of, sit down or even just lay down and just not think of anything or let my mind wander. But I don't hear anything. I don't hear the noise. And I do try to let the noise in my head kind of quiet down also, and I let it all kind of go from it, and it's kind of slowly goes away. And when you hit that moment of pure quietness where your mind is not wandering, you're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about anything else, there is it's a really cool experience, and it's something that it's a kind of addicting, and I try to make it happen more often than I do. But when I do get to that moment, it is pure bliss, and I think it's one thing that has helped me find where my inner peace is at to this day, at this moment, and so thankful for it. The next one's kind of an interesting one, and that is to just understand your experience. And we all have had experiences, with cancer, or even just life in general, right? And I constantly am seeing the comparison that goes on with people around and about, and I talk to them like it doesn't matter it doesn't matter that you compare yourself to them, and having this, almost like this contest of like who's better, who's worse. And I've had a number of people come up to me and ask me about, like, well, you went through cancer and da 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 da, and if I know something about the people I'm talking to, I have to stop them. I have to be like, look, you also broke your leg, 5 years ago when you were trying to do whatever. Our experiences are all relative, and that's why it's really important to understand your experiences, because they mean a lot. They're also self-defining, and they make you who you are. And by understanding your experiences gives you that opportunity to help other people that might be having a hard time also. And by understanding that, really, really kind of helps kind of bring you back down into a selfless part of yourself and your being. And I have really enjoyed really getting to know and understand what my experiences are and what my past was like, and letting those things even go, and being cool with them and just using them as tools instead of comparisons to other people. And really has been a huge relief and a huge stress off my shoulders to realize this. So another good one is just finding an activity to keep you moving. Movement is the thing that keeps us from aging faster. I feel like there are a lot of people out there that kind of get into the sedentary life after they do their work, and then they just kind of they go home and they just sit around and they don't do anything, and they just watch TV and they let their mind just melt. And I don't get it. I've never been a real good TV watcher to begin with, but nonetheless, like after cancer, it was like I got the second chance. I'm not going to waste this time, and it's important for me to be moving, and that's why I've taken up some sport activities that were outside of my comfort zone, like mountain biking. Sure, I could ride a bike. I've always been able to ride a bike since I was a little kid, but this is kind of taking it to a whole new level for me. I've lost a great amount of weight, which makes me feel better. I feel sharper than I ever have, and I feel like it's really a good way to kind of keep myself feeling young as I get older and older. This come 2019 in March, I turned 43, and I'm essentially a middle-aged man, right? And by staying moving, by keeping my body active, it gives you a lot of good endorphins and feelings of accomplishment, and two, it keeps your mind sharp too. And I'm going to continue doing it that way. That there has given me more peace in my life than probably the rest of them all combined. All of them together really kind of make up the whole package, but just staying moving has been hugely rewarding for me. The next one is cooking and nutrition. And this kind of goes a little bit more under kind of the terms of like really taking care of yourself. But, that kind of also goes back to, finding that inner peace, and if you're taking care of your body and you're taking care of your nutritional needs, then you are also taking care of everything else that you need to do to accomplish it all, right? You need nutrition to be active and to stay physical. You need, to live really is the biggest one. And then it just, eating well and inspiring others to eat well also. Like in my case, I love cooking at home. I probably cook maybe four nights out of the week, and then the food I cook, my family eats, and they're stoked because it's something different and it's something cool, and it gives them an opportunity to try something different, and gives me an opportunity to kind of fiddle around with something that I don't know a whole lot about. So that's why I've really enjoyed cooking, and I'm getting better at it, and it's really kind of fun to play with, and learning more about nutrition, and that side of it also has been hugely rewarding, and feeding my body good ingredients and staying hydrated also. There could be 12 is staying hydrated really makes you feel like things are on the right path, right? Keeping busy is the next one, and that's just, unfortunately we all have to work, and we all have to do things that, kind of continue to bring money in, and I work a lot, Staying busy is not a problem for me, fortunately, and my days go by pretty quick because of it. I'm just trying to figure out how to slow those days down so they don't go by so fast, because each year they continue to get a little bit quicker and a little bit quicker, and I really enjoy life right now. So, staying busy is one thing to really, just enjoy kind of everything that goes on outside of our relationships and outside of our work environment also, and it's easy to kind of continue to become sedentary and complacent, but we have to continue to just keep working on staying busy and just doing things that, one, help keep us moving forward and help keep us moving closer to finding that internal peace. The next one is travel. Now, I spent a lot of time traveling when I was younger. As most of you know, I was really involved in the snowboarding world, and I got to travel all over the world. And that created a little bit of a travel bug. I do thoroughly enjoy traveling. I don't get to do it as much now, just due to rebuilding myself and rebuilding my life after cancer. But when I do get to travel, it sure is nice to get out of the place where I live and just kind of just experience other things and other people, and feeling like you're just kind of learning about different, whether it's cultures or different areas in history or whatever it is, So I really enjoy traveling. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like because, well, my focus is definitely elsewhere, but I do get to travel a couple times a year, and not very far, and it doesn't have to be very far, but it's enough to make me really appreciate the fact that when I do travel, I sure do love it a lot. So the next one is reading. Now, I didn't read I shouldn't say that. I read a lot before cancer, but I was more into periodicals and magazines and catalogs and just stuff that things that caught my eye, things that had my attention, but nothing that was really mind expanding. And then when I was diagnosed, I was given a lot of books because I had a lot of time in the hospital, and that's when I really started to read. And reading has been awesome to kind of let my mind slow down, actually, and calm down from daily activity. I only read a couple days a week, but when I do read, it really sets it grounds me back into a good place where I feel back at peace, because we get so caught up in the daily lives, or in our daily lives, that if we forget about something, it'll sit and kind of mull in the back of our head and just kind of wait, and then we'll forget about the next morning, and then a week later it'll pop back up and will just drive us nuts. So by reading has helped me really kind of take it and just kind of calm down a little bit. And it's actually been a better way to turn my mind off from racing than anything else, except for maybe exercise and getting out and just keeping moving, I guess. And so finding things, it was always hard for me to find things that I really, really enjoyed reading. And I've gotten a lot more open to reading both fiction and nonfiction, just depending on what it is. And I actually, when my mother-in-law got me a Kindle for Christmas, I ended up loading up with just a bunch of free books I could get my hands on through Amazon. And there's a bunch I haven't read yet, but I still read them when I have a moment, and it's pretty awesome. Excuse me. The next one here, I think this is number 10, is don't be afraid to ask for help. Man, if you're feeling like you are just struggling with whatever it is, whether it's something at work or whether it's something at home or with family or, chores or whatever, by all means, ask for help. I talk about in some of my earlier videos about, asking for help and then accepting the help that is offered to you. And by asking for it, you are, one, engaging in communication with the people that you are asking help from, and two, it just kind of creates a little bit of a social environment outside of work and outside of everything else, and it helps build a relationship with the person that you ask too. A good example is a friend of mine, his name's Aaron, he asked me if I could help him do some firewood for the winter, and he needed help loading it into this truck, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, and for about a day, an afternoon or so worth of time, I ended up helping him load a couple truckloads full of wood and taking it to his house, and he was able, and it was just great hanging out with him and talking to him about everything and enjoying our time. That's why it's good to ask for help, because you never know when you're going to need it, and you never know when someone is going to need it, and you can help them out too. So, always ask for help. And then the last thing is, this has kind of been a big one for me as a survivor, is give back. Give back to other people that might be going through what you are. And, that was kind of the main point of what I'm trying to do with Internal Architect, is give back to you, to people that really need some insight into kind of what to do now that I've just been through cancer. And it's not even just that, like, it's, there's other ways of giving back. You can even volunteer for helping, during the holiday season. You can give back to food drives. You can give back to, whether it's your time or financial, if you can, to the church or whoever that you feel like, you want to give back to. I personally helped co-found a nonprofit called Strap In for Life, and we raise money to help other cancer patients and survivors, or people. Our mission is to help those that have been affected by cancer through on-mountain experiences. So we help those that are going through cancer or have gone through cancer, give them an experience in the mountains. Like, that's why it's so nice to live in a resort town like Breckenridge here, that we can arrange to get these people into sleigh rides or dog sledding rides, or ski lessons, or take them cross-country skiing or snowshoeing, or take them fishing, or biking, or whatever it is, just to get them in the outdoors and to get them feeling like they're doing something good and something outside of what their normal is. And that was my way of being able to give back. I kind of wanted to take it to a bigger level, and that's what we've done. That's what I've done, and that's what my partners have done with Strap In for Life, and that's what we continue to do. So, yeah, there's lots of things. These 11 things are, like I said, these are not the defining points. These are just kind of starting points to kind of help you understand that there's a lot of different facets that you can use to kind of start getting yourself into a place where internal peace is happening. And these 11 are some of my most important ones, and then also all the ones that I talk about in my book Internal Architect also, which you can pick up a copy down in at Amazon. So I talk a lot about just what it takes to find peace, and that's what this video was all about, was just kind of let you know that once you kind of make the decision to go down this path, you also have to dedicate yourself and discipline yourself to continue doing it, possibly for the rest of your life. Because if you stop and if you kind of go back to that sedentary life and that complacent life, it's only going to lead you down a road that of regret and of really disenchantment also. And that's not what we're trying to do here with Internal Architect, and trying to help teach you kind of to get off your ass and do something do something good with it, you know. So hope you liked the video. If you have any comments or questions, hit me in the section below. And if you like what you hear, give me a thumbs up. And I will, you know, just continue putting out some videos. And you know, I want you to know that I really appreciate your time and your energy and your effort into watching these, you know, as the last couple have gotten a little bit longer, as I've been talking a little bit more about some pretty important parts. So really, really appreciate your time and your energy into watching these. And, you know, I will see you on the next video.